Let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful day. We thank you so much that you have given us an opportunity to spend this day in your presence, to just worship you, to praise you, through our businesses, through our relationships with other people. And we thank you for BLN. We thank you for this morning's meeting. We ask that you will put your words in the mouth of this morning's speaker, that he may speak a word in season to everybody who is here, that everyone will live with something new and something that they're going to do to better themselves. We ask that the others who are joining the call will be able to join swiftly so that they do not miss out on this incredible wisdom. We give you all the glory, honor, and praise, for it's in Jesus Christ's name we have prayed. Amen. Amen. So today we have a very exciting speaker, somebody who has taught before quite a bit, and he's here again to continue with a series that he had already begun on the life plan. We are very excited, Peter Businge. Over to you. We're very, very excited and expectant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosemary, and good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here once again to just follow up on the last time that I was here. I'm going to try and squeeze as much as possible in this time, but knowing well that we have challenges on the time. So we've been discussing the life plan over the last few weeks, and maybe just a recap for those who might have forgotten or those who might have missed. I started my presentation with sharing about drift. And what is drift? Drift is the floating away aimlessly. This is caused by several forces acting on our lives, really work, family, career, etc. And it happens when we are unaware, distracted, overwhelmed, or deceived. So drift is that moment that happens when you just find yourself floating away in life. You started your life so excited, age 25, and now you are knocking at the door of the 4th floor or the 5th floor, or you're just in there in between at the 6th floor, wherever you are. And you just kind of think, how did I get here? How did I drift here? And then the drift leads to confusion. We have expenses, you do things that you didn't intend to do. Then we have lost opportunity, we have pain and regrets. This is what we looked at in the first time of drift. And then this drift is overcome by being aware of your location, knowing this is where I am in life, this is where I am at sea, and deciding where you want to go and working towards your destination, all through a life plan. So you decide, okay, fine, I have drifted, or I have moved away from the shoreline, or I have floated away, but now what do I need to do? Is this where I want to be? No. Is this where I want to go? No. Maybe I've been at middle management level too long. Maybe I've done my business and has remained flat for the last 5 years. So you have drifted and you want to now decide to overcome that drift. So that's where the life plan comes in. And the other 2 weeks ago, we discussed about the life plan, and really what is a life plan? It's a short written document by you and for you. So the life plan is yours. It's not a copy and paste. It is your document written by you and for you, describing how you want to be remembered, your personal priorities, and specific actions to be taken in achieving them. We all want to be remembered differently around the people we relate with, around our lives. And so no single life plan can be the same. But if it is yours and makes sense to you, then that's what we are looking for. And it's barely about personal priorities. We all have different priorities. Maybe 2 years ago at 7, you had a different priority, 7 a.m. every day. But suddenly, you have the priority to be on BLN at 7 a.m. It is your priority. Some, maybe it is convenient because you're dropping kids to school, but others, you're working from home, or you have a job at the office where you should be at office at 9. There's no rush, but you have made a commitment. Why? Because it's a priority for you to improve yourself every day around business people. So that's what the life plan is all about. And it answers the 3 critical questions. How do I want to be remembered? What matters most? And how can I get from here to where I want to be? Those are the main questions that are answered in the life plan, and this is what we discussed 2 weeks ago. And the benefits of the life plan is clarifying priorities. Can you imagine if your wife, if your spouse, your husband could be able to pick up this document and know where you're going, what you're seeing, where you want to be? This would really clarify priorities for everyone. to maintain balance in your life, you filter opportunities. So suddenly you are here in Uganda and there's an opportunity in the USA. Is that in line with your life plan? Do you intend to be in the USA 5 years from now? What will that do to the other priorities you had back home? So you need to be able to filter opportunities. Facing reality, the reality of it is that the life plan says, this is where you are. So you wanted to be the CEO at age 30, but you are age 29. This is where you are. But can you envision the future and avoid regrets? So once we have the document in place, we get to have all these benefits around it, and then we're able to have a more focused and a more driven life that we work toward. Of course, the final recap is that you begin with the end. What do you want to achieve? I always tell people that right now I'm thinking how I want to live my life at age 75. At age 75, I know I want to wake up at about 7 a.m. I want to take a jog in my compound. I want to take a swim in my swimming pool. I want to take a steam bath and sauna before, then I take my breakfast. And by 9, I hit the road, go and visit my businesses, or I have my online meetings. That's how I want to live my life at age 75. So that's the end in mind. So I begin to think about it from that side. What does it take? If I want to jog in my compound in the morning, will a 50 by 100 plot work? Definitely not. So maybe I need an acre. But where will I get an acre? If I go to Muyenga, will I find an acre I can afford? Maybe not. So I say, fine, since I want to jog, Muyenga is no longer a priority for me because the kind of land I want needs a bigger size, and that I will not find in Muyenga. So I begin to think about how I want, and that's how the begin with the end in mind works out. Then you shape your legacy. How do I want to be remembered? By my children, by the people in the village, by my workmates, by my business partners, by the people I've interacted with. How do I want to be remembered? So this is all written down in the life plan. And you determine your priorities. In determining the priorities, we have the circle of being, circle of relating, and circle of doing. Circle of being is yourself inside. It's about you. Circle of relating is about the people you relate with, and circle of doing is about the things you do. And this is just a summary of that. The circle of being is spiritual, intellectual, physical. You're looking at your health, you're looking at your intellectual growth, you're looking at your spiritual growth. Then circle of relating, you're looking at parental, you're looking at social, marital, if it applies, and any other relating aspect that will be in there. And then the circle of doing, you're looking at the financial aspect. What are you doing for a living? How do you get your money? You're looking at your vocational. How are you, is there a career involved? Is there a business involved? And you're looking at avocational. What other things do you do that you're passionate about? I told you I'm passionate about rally driving. And no matter what, I am going to work hard towards reaching that level where you guys read in the newspapers and say, this cowboy used to be on BLN, but he's here as a rally champion. And that would make sense. But for me, is that something that I can achieve today? Maybe not, because it's an expensive sport. I need a good car. One car will cost maybe $100,000 to be able to achieve what I want. That doesn't mean I start with that kind of car. So everyone should be able to determine the things that you want to do at the different levels. And not everything should really be about money, but the avocational answers that. How do you want to live your life? I told my wife that, when I'm around 70, I want to be able to wake up, I buy a vintage car, which is scrapped up, and then every day be able to work on that car. I want to be able to do woodwork in my old age, just doing and creating small things, tables, not for money, but just for keeping my creative vibes up. So I already believe and know what I want to do at the end, but then I have to start planning for it here and now. Today, we are going to discuss really how to write the life plan. And after this session, I'll share with you the draft format. Again, all this is from a book that I recently read called Living Forward by Michael Hyatt. I recommend this writer. He has done so many writings. I'll share his other books on the not his books, but covers of his books, so that you can go and find those books. As I told you, I know here we don't allow PDFs, and I also took up the culture. So I'll share this with you, and then you'll be able to find other sources of information around the same writer. The written life plan, it starts with the account. So you'll have the priority name. So as we have said, we've listed our priorities. We know what we want to do in life. So we start by writing the account name, the priority. So for instance, you'll say priority name, finance, priority name, spouse, priority name, God, priority name, church, priority name, whatever priority, whatever it is that is priority to you, you can write it. You can even break it down to having each of your children have a separate account. And so you call child number 1, child number 2, and you have a priority name and a priority account for them. Once you've written that priority name, then you have to put what we call a purpose statement. And the purpose statement is really what is your primary role or responsibility on this priority. So they were just trying to say, what is your purpose in this account? Finances, what is your purpose? To become debt-free, to become financially secure, to be able to give whenever it is required, to give beyond your imagination, to be able to support people. So whatever it is, the purpose statement would be from you. And that's why the life plan is all about you. We all have different statements, different callings. I recently told somebody that for me, one of the things that I want to do is to build libraries, because I think the biggest gift that I got was to be able to read books that have made me become a better person. So the purpose statement is really up to us. And then after writing the purpose statement, we write the envisioned future. What do you envision in the future? So you stand in the future. In the future, I am debt-free, I have good, I'm tithing, I'm giving above and beyond, I meet quick needs for my relatives and friends, my children don't lack, my children have a cash buffer to start out on their dreams. Whatever it is, you stand in the future. You visualize positive possibilities. So don't look at the thing and say, oh my God, I'm just still a sweeper, I'm just still at entry level. Will I be able to understand or to achieve what I want? No, visualize positive possibilities, because it is at this point that the devil is going to come in and say, young man, what are you doing? You think you're the first to dream that you want a G class. Calm down, do X, Y, and Z. You'll not achieve it in your family anyway. No one has ever done a PhD. Why are you visualizing this kind of thing? So the devil is going to fight you. It will not be something that is easy, but focus on the positive possibilities and visualize them. Use all your 5 senses. The 5 senses help you to actualize this kind of envisioned future in reality. So if you're talking about a house, can you envision your house? Can you envision, is it 1 floor? Is it 2 floors? Where do you sleep? Where does the sun rise? What senses are you getting? Is there a windy sense around? Do you have trees? Is there a nice sense of flowers? You begin to use all your senses as you envision this future, so that when you're writing it down, you have all this in place. You're able to test the kind of food you are eating at that point. You're able to visualize, to see the flowers, whatever it is that comes in and relating to that priority account, you're able to visualize it. Then record what you sense or see. So once we have finished envisioning this future, we need to record it and use the present tense. So don't say, I want to be. No, I am. I am at the top. Let's say it's a health goal. It's a health account. I am, meeting my BMI index. I am my right weight. I take water. I am healthy. I have a lot of energy. I'm able to pursue what I want. So you are writing in the present tense, although you are envisioning your future. And this would be the detail under the subsection of envisioned future. Once you're finished envisioning your future, you get an inspiring quote. It is important to be inspired and get a quote that inspires you in line with what you're writing. So for instance, you could, quote, Oprah Winfrey, you quote, somebody from BLN, whatever quote you have had, you just write it there. And this quote is specific to this account. And so that helps you to be able to relate in your own personal way of achieving this account that is within the life plan. Now, after all is said and done, we need to have our current reality. What is the current reality? What are we currently experiencing in our lives? So let's say you want financial freedom. Yes, but what is the current reality? What is happening in your life? Where are you going? How are you handling whatever it is? That is your current reality. Be as realistic as possible so that then you know how you need to tackle what you need to tackle in your current reality. Because if you're not aware of where you are currently, you're going to dream hopelessly. And hopeless dreams create a lot of self-resentment, a lot of inadequacy in us because you're dreaming so big, but you've forgotten where you are. And so you just keep focusing on where you want to go and forget about working on where you are. So you need to state what is your current reality in relation to that account. If it is with your spouse, what is your current relationship in the marriage? How often are you meeting? How often are you going for dates? Whatever it is, list what comes to your mind and put it out there as your current reality. And thereafter, we're going to go for the specific commitments. These should be smart. And so the commitments are looking at incremental change, daily, weekly, worst case scenario, monthly, that are going to help you change your current reality so that you are able to achieve or to move in the direction of where you want to go on that account. And I believe we all know the SMART, where you're specific, measurable, realistic, time-bound, and achievable. So we want to be able to have our commitments in a smart way. Be as specific as possible. I'm going to do 10 sit-ups every morning. I'm going to read 5 pages every day. I'm going to, stop sugar on weekdays. I'm going to have a glass of warm water. Be as specific as possible. And if this can be brought down to the daily or weekly level, that would be where you will achieve your biggest success. I'll give an example here of a life plan for us to look at and see. So let's give this example. The life account is finances. The purpose statement: to be a good steward for financial resources at my disposal. The envisioned future. So Hope is my wife. So I'm saying Hope and I never worry about money. We follow a budget, we blow money for fun. We are debt-free and financially independent with all resources necessary to cover our immediate obligations and accomplish our long-term goals. We have 12 months worth of our family expenses in an emergency fund in case one of us loses a job or income. Having enough for ourselves, we give generously to our church, our relatives, our friends, and even strangers in need. This is my envisioned future. So you'll be able to envision your future as an individual. Now, what kind of quote do we apply? So for me, the quote here is, you must gain control over your money, or the lack of it will forever control you. And this is a quote by Dave Ramsey. You must gain control over your money, or the lack of it will forever control you. Now, this quote cannot apply to my relationship with my wife if it's an account. So this quote is specific to finances, and this is why it comes out here. But what is my current reality? Current reality is that I have a budget set and we are following it. We tithe 10% of our income each month. However, our monthly expenses are taking all the remaining 90%. We have zero savings. This is our current reality. We need to replace the current family car due to regular garage visits. So these are some of the current realities that I have related to finance. And I state them there, what is working and what is not working. I have to be as realistic as possible. But then I have the specific commitments. Create an emergency fund and save at least 1 month expense cover by end of January 2023. So I need to be able to say, if our monthly expenses are $1 million, by end of Jan 2023, we have saved aside $1 million and we have started our emergency fund, which is working towards making sure that we hit those 12 months that we want to have in our emergency fund account. We have to cut our monthly expenses by at least 200,000 and roll that money into the emergency account. Again, these are now specific commitments. We have to review the weekly budget with my wife every Friday mid-morning. We do most of our shopping on Friday, so we have found that it is best for us to have this WhatsApp or actual call and discuss what our shopping needs are, what we need in the home for the week, and this is when the shopping is done. So this is a specific commitment that every Friday we look at the budget. Last week, what did we buy? How much did we spend? What do we need at home? What can we forego? And that is what we are looking at as a specific commitment. Then to increase income, sign up as freelance insurance agent to create extra income opportunity. So saving is good, but we also need to increase the income if we are going to achieve what we want to achieve. And so that's where the opportunity for signing up as an insurance agent comes in for me, to be able to bring in extra income and work extra hours to be able to make the extra money. So this is an example of a life plan, and this is just one account. We can have as many as 10 as many as 15, depending on what works for you. But just make sure that all these are priorities to you. And then you sort them out in the level of priority. Which one thing would you want? Which one priority would you want to have achieved if you had 10 and you had to remove 9? And you begin to order that. If you had 9 and you had to remove 1, if you had 9, if you go down the line until you have the whole linkage there. King Solomon said, a plan in the heart of a man or woman is like deep water, but a man or woman thereof of understanding draws it out. So we all have plans. We all have been gifted differently. We all have burdens on our heart. Maybe your burden is to help street children. Maybe your burden is to give back in terms of reading. Maybe your burden is to open up medical facilities. Whatever burden it is a plan in your heart, and it is like deep water. But when you gain understanding, when you understand how the life plan will help you, you're able to draw your plan out and bring it to the surface and be able to execute it. Now, there's also what we call the law of diminishing intent. The longer you delay doing something, the less probability you have of actually doing it. So as we share this life plan, it might sound all nice and good, but the longer you delay to do it, is the less probable that you will be able to do it. So what that means is that after this, I'll be able to share a template, but decide in your mind, decide in your heart that you're going to take away 1 or 2 days specifically to do your life plan. And the timing is right because we're coming into a new year, we're coming into a new season. You could be able to start to do your life plan. And I will be able to share here with you how to plan for your life plan. So now you know you need a life plan, you know that you need to write a life plan. How do you plan for that? Number 1, block time on your calendar because what gets scheduled gets done. So if you want to do the life plan, you need to block off time. It's not something that you'll do during your commercial break, during your tea break. No, block off time and make sure that you have this on your calendar because you need to take a day off or 2. Decide where to go. Don't go in somewhere expensive or fancy and spend a lot of money. But there are very nice places that you could go for a full day, for a full night, 1 day, 1 night, or 2 days, and make sure that you are there. You've gone to just write your life plan, preferably off-site. So don't think you're going to sit down in your compound and do your life plan. The chances are you will not. The kids are going to come in, somebody's going to walk in, whatever it is, somebody's going to disturb you. You need to get into this environment where you have very minimal distractions. You can drive all the way to Kalangala, or you can just go to a simple place in the suburbs of Kampala and be able to take off your time and be able to do this, to write down this life plan. You should carry the necessary supplies. So you need to carry a notebook, you need to carry a pen, carry a laptop if you have to, and type out whatever you want, but spend this one. Can you imagine if you dedicated 24 hours of your life to just think about your next 20, 30 years, uninterrupted 24 hours? That would be something massive because our brains, once in the right situation, we can't be able to do that. We can't be able to get the best out of our brains. Determined to be offline. If you're married, you should be able to tell your wife, I'm going to take off time. I'll be at a cellar. You can reach me if there's an emergency on this landline, but I'm going to be offline. Switch off your phone, switch off your data, and be offline so that you are focused on this one thing. You're not on the WhatsApp group. You're not responding to messages. You're not checking out people's Instagrams. You're just offline and focusing on doing this. And then enroll your family and colleagues. If you have to take a day off, inform your boss. I would like to take 1 day off, whatever it is. Because you've scheduled it, you've agreed with your boss, you've taken your day, you've gotten your leave approved, you've agreed what needs to be done now so that they don't interrupt you on that day. And so your colleagues are up and running. If there's a need, this is the person in charge who will back me up. And the same thing for your family. You've talked to your sons or your daughters or your wife, and you've told them, you know what, I'm going to be away for this 1 day or for these 2 days. I'm going away so that I can get a better plan for our lives. Generally, you have to enroll people around you and people in your circles and people that matter. Strategy without execution is like hallucination. I've not been able to compress the third and final part in today's presentation, but in the third and final part, we're going to look at the life plan implementation. So this is the final part where, how do we implement the life plan? Many people do these things and they file them away. The life plan is a working document. You keep editing it every day, looking at it, because what you want now may not be the same as what you want 5 years from now. So you need to be able to have this as a working document, as a live document. I want to thank you. I'd like to open the floor for comments and questions. Thank you. Back to you, Rosemary.
Thank you so much, Peter. This was something else. We have been able to learn so much already, incredible wisdom in under 20 minutes. And coincidentally, I'm away on a personal retreat for 2 nights, 2 days. So this is very timely and yeah, very, very exciting. So we'd like to open up the floor to anybody who has a question for Peter, and just, yeah, go ahead, either raise your Zoom hand or you can type in the chat and he'll be able to respond. Peter, this morning I was reading about King David and his son, Solomon, and Solomon sort of had an assignment already that his father was passing on from himself to his son, which was to build the temple of the Lord's house. So I'm just wondering, if already you have an assignment that you are supposed to do, that has been passed on from probably your parents or a generation before you, how then does the life plan apply? Do you have the bigger goal already and then you're just breaking down and trying to personalize it to you?
Okay, thank you, Rosemary. If you already have an assignment that has been passed down to you, I believe then that is worthy of creating for it an account, because it is an assignment. Maybe you're an heir to your family business. Maybe whatever it is that has been assigned to you, 1, you've prayed about it, 2, you've accepted the assignment, and 3, you're ready to take it on. I believe that you should give it its own credence and make it an account. But then you have to personalize that account on how you want to do things. I remember meeting with a gentleman called Mohammed Dewji. Mohammed Dewji is one of those billionaires in dollars in Tanzania, and he's a guy who is giving Coca-Cola and Pepsi a bloody nose in Tanzania. And when I met him, he came here in Uganda sometime when I had organized something. And he was saying he was working on Wall Street in the US, and his father would call him to come back home, do the family business. But whenever he would come home, his father didn't give him time. His father wanted him to do the things in the business the way his father was doing. So he told his dad, you know what? I think you're not ready to hand over the business. So let me go back to the US. When you're ready, you will call me. And lo and behold, the father realized if this boy goes back, he may not come back, or he will not be ready to take over the business. So he said, okay, son, here is the business. You do it your way. I'm here to support you. And that's how Muhammad was able to move the business from where it was to the next level, because although the business was handed over to him, he personalized it to focus on the vision that was on his heart. So I think create an account for that thing and then personalize it as a vision for what you feel and what you want to achieve in line with the bigger pass down that you have received.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That sheds quite a bit of light. Elder Kamara has his hand up. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, clearly.
Peter, you sound like Apollos. You're very musical. I really enjoyed the session. Mine is a question. How many accounts, in your opinion, I know you've been doing this for some time possibly, but or even from the reading, the book that I'll be looking up most definitely. How many accounts would you say are optimal so that you don't have 1 million accounts that you open and you spread yourself too thin in this life plan? Because as we know, life is happening all the time, and the temptation is to have everything in that life plan. So in your opinion, what are the critical tabs that one can open, and and how many are optimal? Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Kamara. I believe optimal is 10. 10 would be an optimal number. The book recommends up to, I think, 13 or 15 thereabout, but I believe 10 is an optimal number. Any extras, I think you can initially have them as a list, But as you edit your life plan on a quarterly or monthly basis, some of them will be able to be absorbed into that. So I think 10 is a good number to start with. But the whole point is first, just list them down. List everything that you think, I need to do this, I need to have a focus. Just list them down and see what list you come up with. You might be shocked that you have a 6 only. So depending on the appetite. So I think for me, first list them down, but 10 would be a good optimal number to start with.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. I saw Emily typed in the chat saying the 5 capitals. So maybe that could also be another approach one could use when looking at the priorities. Director Grace, you look like you want to say something. Over to you before we close.
Peter, thank you so much. My appeal, really, Peter has given his knowledge. He has given his time. My appeal is, I think I checked, we are 43 on the call, and some of you have been attending and have never contributed anything. Imagine Peter remained in Kamoli. There is no righteousness in being in Kamoli. In fact, Kamoli is full of darkness and has demons there. I beseech you that bring your intellectual capital to bear. Please contribute. You make us better. You make us better. Come give what God has given to you, not what he hasn't given to you. But the fact that you're on this call and you've come more than twice, you owe us your contribution intellectually. Get in touch with Rosemary or I, and we hear from you. If not, you're the most selfish person that I know. Thank you so much. Back to you, Rosemary.
Wow, thank you, Director. And in the spirit of just saying the same message, but in a toned down version for those who are who understand the grace gospel, we are all becoming. We are all on a journey. None of us is there yet. And it's just a good place for us to come, share, learn from each other, and give at the end of the day. So we'll be looking out for someone to present on Thursday. So just in case we hit your inbox, please do not go back to Kamoli, where you are coming from, but please be willing and happy to share. Otherwise, thank you so much, Peter, for blessing us this morning. Thank you for the incredible, incredible wisdom that you have shared with us that will make us better, that will help us live purposeful lives, that we're not just ticking boxes. At the beginning, you mentioned some of the different reasons why people log on to this call. Some of them, it's because they're dropping children at school and there's nothing else to do really. But if we understand that we're doing things from a place of purpose, from a place of understanding, then we'll be able to put our best foot forward. So thank you so much. We've really been blessed this morning. Tomorrow we have floor prayer, so we will not be meeting here. We'll meet again on Thursday at 7 a.m. on the dot. I'd like to speak a blessing over each and every one of us. I pray that our blessings will grow from strength to strength. Our businesses will grow from strength to strength. We'll be able to achieve great things today. We'll be able to make money. We'll be able to make connections with the people who will increase us, intellectually, financially, in different ways, but we'll also be givers. We'll also be givers. So yeah, have such a beautiful day and God bless you.